This is part 9 of a series. If you need context, you should go back to the beginning. In this step, I'm going to take a preparatory step. So I would like to move this parse time function into the duration class. It makes sense, right? Really what we want is duration.parse. But there's a lot to this. Not least among which is that we've got to figure out how to properly convert this newOrNull into a duration or null. And the tooling in Visual Studio Code simply doesn't support the kind of smooth refactoring that I need. That's the bad news. The good news is that TypeScript has an incredibly powerful type system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of TDD to build myself a utility that I can then use in a subsequent step to support the refactoring that I need to do in order to reclaim or rescue this vibe-coded slop. Let me get started. So I am going to create a new test, and it's going to be newOrNull.spec.ts. So I'm going to start by speaking the things that I need into existence. So we'll create our tests. I'll say describe, coalesce, known, and construction. And I will create a test for that. The first one will be if input is null, output is null. We'll create a body for that test. Okay, and now I will act like the thing that I want exists and start writing a test for it. So say const actual equals newOrNull, pass in no, and pass in a type called MockCreated. Neither of those exist, but that's okay. And then we'll expect actual to be null. Okay. So now I'm going to need to create these things. Start with the class MockCreated. Class MockCreated. And I'll call it, I'll give it a constructor with one parameter, value type string. And I'll assign that to a local property. Not a local property, but a property that's local to the object. However you want to say that. Okay, so now I have my mock object that I want to create. Now I need the newOrNull method, function. So I'll start creating that. And I'm going to just, and this doesn't compile, so I need to do a little work to make it compile. So I'm going to give it the signature I want. Input and output are the two types. And I'm going to say this is input or null. And we'll call this the input parameter. And then this we'll call the factory parameter. And the type we want to create, what we want to return is going to be output or null. And this is going to be type of output. Let's see. Now it doesn't like this type of output because we can't really just have the type be what we pass in. What we really need is something that is constructorish. So we'll say new input, which is of type input, and it goes to output. And now we have the signature we really want. We have a method, it takes an input or a null. We have a factory that takes a non-null input and produces a non-null output, and the result is going to be output or null. So if I run this, I'll see that it fails. And it should fail because it throws an exception. So I'll fix that. I'll return null and see if it works. So I've added one little behavior. And now I can create another test. If input is not null, output is constructed based on input. We'll give that a body. So const actual equals newOrNull, and we'll pass something in. Let's just say const something equals any text. We'll pass in something as our parameter, which we know not to be null. We'll use the MockCreated type as what we create. And then we'll expect that actual, let's see, to strict equal new MockCreated with something. So let's run that. And of course it fails. It wants it to be equal to this MockCreated thing, but it's actually null. So let's fix that. And we can say input not equal null, new output with the input null. Let's see, new factory. Okay. And probably memorize the hotkey to run tests. All right. So now we have this nice little utility. This utility is going to allow me to be more transformative in how I perform a subsequent step, another video where we go and we refactor this parse time to be something that we can move into the duration class. Well, I hope you enjoyed this installment. Thank you.